Hey, what's happening? Good morning or evening, depending on when you're watching this. Today's 135 days until Ironman Texas. I am going to try doing today's video without captions. I love the app that I'm using to get these videos out, but the captions editing is a very tedious process, and I've got a pretty tight schedule today, and I've noticed several things that just do not come through even remotely close to what I've been saying. So no captions today. I did want to share before I take off for my run. It's 8 o'clock basically, and it's already 75 degrees and probably 80% humidity if I had to guess, because there are some storms moving in the next couple hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to knock this out. Start with my 10K run and then see what I can get in from there to get my 90 minutes for the day. But I wanted to share when I mentioned Gatorade yesterday. I get this on Amazon. Part of the reason I use this, there are a lot of good supplements and drink endurance drink formulas out there. But part of the reason I keep this as a steady part of my training routine is because this is what they use on the Ironman course. And so, I want to be sure that I get used to it, my body's used to it. So anyway, that's part of my normal routine for training. There are a few things I've still been experimenting with, other brands, Tailwind, Martin, some others that really just still continuing to experiment and dial in my nutrition. One thing that I haven't been real good at. So wanted to check in prior to the run, and I will be back. A couple quick things I wanted to share. Number one, wearing the chest strap so I can get accurate heart rate, but also changing it up a little bit today. Wearing my Hoka's, the Rincon, I think it is. Pretty good shoes. I'm actually gonna try not wearing socks today with these because they're pretty thin, they're pretty breathable. My feet sweat like crazy, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so just got back from 10K. Let's see, finished in a little over 44 minutes. I have it right here. I think it was like 44:30. I can pull it up later. But it was noticeably better and more enjoyable than yesterday. The temperature is a little bit lower, but not much. I mean, it's still. Let's see, weather app says right now we're at 79, 76% humidity, so maybe 2 degrees lower than yesterday. A little bit more of a breeze, so that was nice to have. One thing I didn't mention earlier that was different about today also is I ate at 6:45, so roughly 2 hours, like an hour and 15 minutes before my run. I had some leftover banana pancakes that we made a couple days ago. Not super sweet. They're not like super healthy, but they're also not way off the deep end. You think about pancakes. Had that with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter in between. It's kind of like a pancake sandwich. So that's something that's different for me. I don't really like to eat breakfast. I have to watch what sugar intake I have earlier in the day, and so I was willing to try that this morning with the change in the run. So a couple takeaways from the run. It was better to do it first in the first half of my 90 minutes for the day. I was thinking about riding my bike, get a good 45 minutes of aerobic in on the bike, but I believe that I'll probably turn around here, put the weight vest on, and do a HIIT workout without much cardio aspect to it. So definitely want to keep the heart rate down as much as possible. Other takeaways from the run, I kind of had to coach myself. I still had a little bit of a pain in my hamstring. Not really pain, just tension. And so I really just kind of started to think through, what I've coached other people on or what I've been coached on. So a couple things that I think are relevant for everybody that's doing any kind of running. One is your hamstrings are one of the first fatigued muscles when you're running, especially if you're doing any kind of distance running. If you're sprinting, that's a totally different topic, but if your objective is to keep an average pace over a number of miles, 2, 3, up from there, then you have to really think about when your legs start to get fatigued. A lot of times it's your groin and your hamstrings first. Sometimes your glutes, but it kind of depends on what other workout regimen you've got. Sometimes outside of the legs. That happens to me because I don't like to stretch. I'm not good at stretching. I need to be better. But your quads are some of the strongest muscles and last muscles to really get fatigued. And so when you start to feel that when you're running, let's say your cardiovascular, your respiratory, you're still feeling good, but your legs are feeling fatigued. A lot of times, all you have to do is shorten your stride and maybe lean forward just a little bit. Not drastically. You don't want to feel it in your lower back, but you should be able to lean forward and shift your gait into the. It should help it hit in the middle of your foot instead of your heel. That has other implications on your knees and stuff, but should kind of help your stride be more efficient, be a little bit shorter. You should feel some relief in your hamstrings. And so you really kind of have to play with that. And I had to remind myself of that today because my stride was getting out ahead of me. And I found myself almost like pulling my body forward. And so I really had to kind of check myself and lean into it a little bit. The other thing I would say in that scenario is you can use your arms quite a bit. I did not run in college or in high school, but I have trained with some collegiate runners, long distance and sprinters. And one thing that seems to be consistent is, the leaning forward, especially on a hill, leaning forward and using your arms in different ways. You can really get some, help in your stride with your arms. Sometimes you can kind of throw them backwards almost, which feels counterintuitive, but it helps. Other times, of course, you can throw them forward, and that helps as well. Let's see what else is relevant there. The other thing you want to make sure you're doing is relaxing your shoulders. If you run tense at any time, regardless of what your arms are doing, that'll really hurt you over a long period of time. So make sure your shoulders are relaxed. That's definitely key. I think that's really the main coaching points that I can recall from today. Well, I guess there's one more. The last one I would say is don't be a hero on the hills. Do not be a hero on the hills. If your objective is to sprint hills and get a good leg workout, that's one thing. But if you are on a endurance run and you are trying, most people are trying to keep their heart rate in some kind of range and keep your pace, in some kind of average. Don't expect, if you're running an 8-minute average pace, don't expect if you're going up a 3% incline to keep that 8 minutes. You will get to the top and you will be done. So don't be a hero on the hills, and that will go a long way. You can make that up. Once you get up the hill, you can make that up and get your average back down. So that would be the last thing that I would say from today. So this shows the summary for my 10K and a little bit of change on the elevation game, which is kind of funny because it's the same route. But I guess over time I'll get a good average of that. Felt pretty good about the pace at 7:11 and hoping to replicate that on the next run. This is a breakdown of the pace and heart rate for the 10K run. Definitely got my heart rate up at that 184 max, which is not something I typically see. The 157 average is something I'm pretty happy with for that run. And here's a quick summary for the hour-long HIIT workout I did. That hour includes a little bit of a warm-up and a couple breaks in between where I didn't stop my watch. But it's realistically 50 minutes, high 40s workout, so I felt pretty good about that. Okay, so as a wrap with this video, I'm actually doing the end of this video the next day. So today's Friday the 5th, and you'll probably see me in the next video wearing at least this hat, maybe this shirt as well. But wanted to pull in everything and kind of cap this video off. I provided this definitely a longer video, try to provide some coaching and thoughts that were fresh on my mind during the run. I hope this is adding value to you, and I hope that you are having a productive day and challenging yourself. So see you later.